Hi, I'm Zaakirah, and I am the host of the See Life Different podcast. This podcast is perfect for you if you are a Black, Indigenous, woman of color, ready to step outside of your comfort zone. This podcast will inspire you, empower you, and educate you on how to see life differently, whether it's in your business or in your personal life. I am a cancer survivor, brand cultivating strategist, author, and world traveler. Let's get into it. I'm Zaakirah Nayyar Muhammad. At 6-month-old, I was diagnosed with Retinoblastoma, a rare childhood eye cancer that affects children under the age of 13. The treatment left me with a prosthetic right eye, a hearing aid that I wear in person, and a purpose: to empower others who are marginalized or invisible to the communities to confidently tell their stories, because my mom was my own advocate and told my story by any means necessary. Living with multiple disabilities hasn't been easy. I can't see out of my right eye. I can't hear well in my ears. I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects my fertility, bloating, energy levels, and hair levels. My joints feel a whole decade older than I actually am. My brand, though, is built on resilience. My mom and I wrote a book called Seeing Life Through a Different Lens, a survivor's memoir on overcoming adversity. That book became a podcast, the See Life Different podcast, a TEDx talk, the Seeing Life from a Different Lens TEDx talk, and soon, a docuseries. I'm also a brand cultivating strategist, internationally known speaker, and I help creatives and entrepreneurs confidently tell their stories and build their brands so they too can make an impact in the lives of others. I do this by teaching entrepreneurs how to build their digital intellectual property using artificial intelligence and authentic storytelling. Whether it's through one-on-one consulting, workshops, retreats, I hope you recognize that your story is your superpower. As a Black, American, Muslim woman with disabilities, I know what it's like to feel like you don't fit the mold or fit the box or fit the status quo. That's exactly why I know that my voice matters and yours does too. The world needs your unique perspective, your resilience, and your truth. I've also traveled to over a dozen countries across 4 continents, mostly solo, mostly to the continent of Africa. I've seen how multifaceted we are as a people. From navigating dark streets in unfamiliar cities to understanding different accents with limited hearing, I've had to become my own advocate. Travel is the best method of schooling and learning and unlearning. So now, are you ready to see life differently? First, grab my book, Seeing Life Through a Different Lens, available on Amazon as paperback, ebook, and audiobook. Second, follow me on social media at Illuminous1. And thirdly, let's get into the episode that you came here for. It has been 6 months as of the recording of this episode since I left Kenya. In one of my previous episodes, I said that my mother and I had moved to Kenya. And in this episode, we'll tell you why we left, what country we went to next, and more opportunities to learn about traveling. So I am Zaakirah. I am a disabled, visually impaired, hard of hearing, world traveler, and a brand strategist who has been to over 15 countries, both solo and with groups, and I've been a content creator before the word content creator was even created. So that's also been about 15 plus years. So why did we leave Kenya? Okay, so several things happened. I was in Kenya for about exactly a year, from October 2024 to October 2025. I was really invited to be a mentor, volunteer at an orphanage in the coast of Kenya. I was able to do a tour of the orphanage, and it was an amazing year of mentoring both the girls and the boys, the youth, to be more confident public speakers, to have a backdrop and a camera, and have a Kenyan certified photographer come visit, as well as to introduce them to a chess master, a chess player who's a chess master, one of the 430 under 30 in Kenya, for them to get to the national levels of chess tournaments in Kenya. So I feel like it was a very productive year. What was happening behind the scenes was several things. I was Traveling with my mother is intergenerational travel. That also means looking out for both of our needs. And one of the things that I've always understood that Africa is technically home. Like being an African American woman, Afro-Caribbean, if you will, because a little bit on my maternal side, there's the Virgin Islands. I knew that Africa was home, but I wasn't sure which country. I did my DNA test, and I saw a bit of a percentage from the Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia area. So, did I like Kenya? Absolutely. I love Kenya. Kenya is definitely home. We even started looking at home, either long-term investing in the apartment that we were in, finding areas to build or buy a house, but nothing was just clicking. And the most important thing, in order to even do any of that thing, you have to be on a certain appropriate visa or get a certain appropriate residency. It's popular, it's common, it's unfortunately not the best way to do it, but we were one of those on the visa, renewing the visa every 3 months. That can really add up financially. Some countries are a little bit strict about it to make sure that you're not one of those that overstay, because a lot of people tend to do that as well. I went back to the U.S., and at the time that I went back to the U.S., two of my mom's siblings, my mom is one of 5, and one of her siblings already passed away in 2022, and 2 of her siblings passed away at the end of 2025. If you're one of those that have a lot of siblings, you know that at some point, everybody just like a domino effect. Everybody is eventually going to pass away. And so she knew her time was coming. She's alive and well at the time of this episode, but we knew we needed to find places that would be a bit more accommodating for her, health-wise, location-wise, food-wise, nutrition-wise. So I had the opportunity to go to Ghana back in 2011. That was my very first African country ever. I was there volunteering even then at a primary school, an elementary school. So my mom was communicating about, okay, she's ready to leave Kenya because we can't do anything about this visa, and we're definitely not going to do anything illegal. To Ghana she went. So she went to Ghana. Yes, Miss Independent went to Ghana. But of course she's not fully alone, because again, my connection from when I was volunteering there were also the ones to help her with the visa upon arrival invitation letter, help her get settled in to a certain area. She's been in Ghana since July of 2025. She even has a Ghana card, some connections that I was able to make. Even if it wasn't from the time that I was there, I made some connections in online Facebook groups and got connected with someone who's a buddy with the immigration officers and is able to continue to renew her visa until she's able to get residency. But she was also able to get a Ghana card. So having one of those options of having another place to be outside of the U.S. is still our goal. So we're just finding what works best. So far, currently, the country is Ghana. And so I've got to visit my mother for about 45 days or so, around the month. They call it Ghana month because March is the independence month. Ghana was the first African country to gain independence in many ways. And in 2027, they're going to be commemorating 70 years. So if Ghana was always on your radar, reach out to me so that we can start putting together a group trip. It's going to be cultural, it's going to be holistic, going to be healing, going to be creative. If Ghana has always been on your radar and you're not afraid to fly right now, reach out to me. Check the link for ways to reach out to me and consult about travel, either with me or without me, because I'm also still a travel advisor. And I can make sure I can advise you on the best way to not do what I had to do and not do the things that people don't really tell you in your YouTube videos and in your generative AIs. To Ghana I went. It was also my first time being in the area where my mom is currently staying, called Kasoa, not far from Kasoa. When I was volunteering in Ghana in 2011, we were in an area that was not developed yet in Cape Coast, not far from Cape Coast. I was in a remote area not far from Cape Coast. Now it almost felt like just scratch everything you knew about Ghana last time, except for the common themes about be careful about power outages and the refilling of the water, the foreigner tax. Just because you're an American, the minute they can tell by your accent. It's beautiful to be in a country where everyone looks like you, but the minute you have an accent, unfortunately, there's still a lot of greed and manipulation and poverty, and there is something called a foreigner tax, where if you are trying to simply support local businesses, the minute they hear that you're not from here, they assume that you have more money to spare while you're here in that country, and you can support them a little more than they would usually charge a local. Unfortunately, that's the psychology of it all. I feel like the only thing that I could bring with me is those specific cultural things, because those are some of the things that have stayed with me through the next 5 or so African countries that I've been to ever since Ghana. I still had to have a tourist mindset in a way all over again, because Accra changed a lot since 2011. There were so many restaurants and places that I went to eat that weren't even open at the time that I went. There were some areas where they're building nice houses, but the houses are not finished yet. So one of the beautiful things about Ghana is that my mom and I have a friend of the family that we've known in America. If you can imagine a home exchange of family friends that we knew in Tennessee in the U.S. when I was like 3 years old. Their family is from Togo and Ghana. Now it's 30 plus years later, it's the opposite, where these same friends that we met in Tennessee who now live in the state of Georgia, there's new family members, young family members that are now looking out for my mom on the other end. I got to meet them and spend some time with them. I'm the only child left. So my mom had another daughter who was 21 years older than me, and she passed away in 2024, but we found out in 2025. So 2025 was a tough year emotionally, filled with grief and loss. I'm the only child left, so essentially I'm always putting the parent hat on to make sure my mom's good. For the most part, she is. The good thing about being so far out from Accra is that you can still have the mix of local prices, local community, local language, local culture, but it's still it's tricky to go where you need to go, do what you need to do without most of your budget being spent on the transportation. Yes, there's Bolt, yes, there's Uber, there's even another one called Yango. To get to where you need to go, but when you have to deal with off roads that are not finished yet, houses that are not finished yet, you kind of need someone local that knows the roads, that won't damage their car by all the unfinished roads, and can get you in and out and be considerate about being an elder and not being from here. While I was in Ghana, I was able to do a lot of things. I arrived there during Ramadan. I am a practicing Muslim, so I arrived during Ramadan, and it was absolutely beautiful to go to my first Eid in the country of Ghana. While I was also there, I arrived during a time where the NYU, New York University, they actually have a campus in Accra, Ghana, and I'm also a media correspondent. One of the other many things that I do is I'm a media correspondent for one of the NPR affiliates. So I used to live in Oklahoma. I am also still a part-time media correspondent with an NPR affiliate in Oklahoma, but it's called Focus Black Oklahoma. So I was also making it work and play by going to check out the NYU campus in Accra, and they have regular monthly series where they have conversations with other Ghanaians of the diaspora. They've left the U.S., they've left to go to the U.S., go to Europe, and they came back to Ghana, or vice versa. I caught the tail end of a photography symposium where I got to go to the University of Accra, the Institute for African Studies, and see some archives of the photographers that were capturing the time of first Ghana president. And then I also got to see the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum before they were closing down for renovation. To go to Aburi, the mountains. And then I also got to go to the beach. You can't be on the coast of Ghana and not go to the beach. So there's a beach area called Kokrobite Beach. I don't think many people know about it, because most people nowadays, they may recognize the beach called Labadi Beach maybe. But Kokrobite Beach is about an hour away from Accra without traffic. It's not fully populated yet, but I feel like after this video, it will be. Kokrobite Beach is the beautiful beaches. I did two things. There's an acquaintance that I met when I was speaking at the Black Travel Expo, and I also did an interview with him, and he invested in a hospitality. So there's suites on the beach where you can have your own suite, basically made out of shipping containers, old shipping containers, and there's a restaurant where they have absolutely delicious fish to eat, and you just walk right down the stairs and go to the beach. And there's a Sustainability Institute. The owner is a friend of the family. At the time, I'm in Maryland. I'm at a family friend's house. And the family friend's house that I'm at is a cousin of the owner of the Kokrobite Sustainability Institute in Kokrobite. We got to go there. I got to interview that owner, so stay tuned for that interview. We went to the beach, we went to Kokrobite, we went to Aburi. I got to attend a boxing match. There was a boxing match happening in Accra, Ghana, and Accra, Ghana is actually doing a lot of great things for the boxing industry. So I got to attend the boxing match. Again, we're trying to get a house, or at least see where's the best place to get a house. Our stuff is still in storage in the U.S., so we're still trying to figure out where we're going to put this stuff. My network, in order to fulfill my mission in life, I still need to be in the U.S. for a little bit, but I also understand that it's okay to split the year in half and be on an African continent, especially when it's super cold in the U.S. and it's super hot in an African country. So we still are looking at houses, trying to figure out where it's going to be, so I can have a home in a different country. We did take a look at a real estate company called Vaal, which was actually in Kenya. We got to go see some places in Kenya. And the same company that was in Kenya is in Ghana. So I stayed in a couple of the Airbnbs and also took a look at their unfinished houses before they were finished. So we did continue to look for houses and see what it is that we really want to do, what area we really want to be in. I also had the opportunity to speak. I am a disability advocate because I'm blind in one eye. I have a hearing aid as a result of a childhood eye cancer. So because I've been blessed to survive and see and speak and thrive, now pay it forward by talking to other caregivers, doctors, parents. My mom and I wrote a book about our journey. My mom is working on another book about the journey. I got to speak at a teaching hospital called Korle Bu. And there was an opportunity to attend a caregiver workshop where I got to also briefly talk about what it's like to survive. Because unfortunately, the mortality rate is still very high in Ghana because of how remote everything is and how much there's such a food scarcity, and the pay rate is still very low to the point where people have to choose. A lot of parents have more than one child, so the child that has that childhood cancer cannot necessarily be the priority because we got all these children to take care of and feed and not enough money to take care of all of the things. I'm discovering about a new way to be of impact over in Ghana as well. But I did have the opportunity to speak at a part of Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. Some of the pediatricians have their own nonprofit or NGO, which is based out of the UK, where they also have conversations and advocacy meetups. So I got to do that as well. Still finding my footing. And then I also got to meet up with a couple of the African-American women who have moved to Ghana, have been doing their own thing. Yes, they are married to an African, but that was not their pathway. They have always been doing their own thing. They came to Ghana on their own, love Ghana on their own, started their own travel company, started their own company where they're also helping people to get that clarification on the visas, the residency, the citizenship. That's been amazing to meet up with women my age who are from places in the U.S. where I either have family from or I used to live there. So that was also amazing as well. What's next? I'm in the U.S. at this moment, have a couple of disability and travel-related speaking engagements. I'm in Maryland at the moment. I just finished up speaking for the Black Woman Marketers Hub. Black Women Marketers is like a little association, a membership. Started out as an online community, then they had 2 conferences, and I was at the second one. The first one I was supposed to attend, but at that time we were trying to figure out the visa issues, and also we just got the news about my older sister, my mom's firstborn, passing away. So we needed a minute. So I was supposed to attend the last one, but thankfully I attended and spoke at this one. So I think I've had plenty of time to rest and heal from grieving, and now I'm back to wanting to serve you, especially if you need travel advisory work, consulting on artificial intelligence. How am I using artificial intelligence with all of these things? How am I also traveling? What are my experiences traveling with these places? And especially if you want to be more empathetic when it comes to disabilities, I'll be having more content that raise awareness of how I see the world when I do travel and how you can be more empathetic when you travel as well. Thank you for subscribing. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments